Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle-earth here with a video on 5 mistakes that you should avoid making in the Heroes of Middle-earth. This game has been out for almost an exact month, and over that time, I and myself and many others, maybe you included, have made mistakes along the way that have definitely decreased the experience. We've wasted gold, we've wasted gems, we've not optimized in the right ways, all kinds of stuff. So I want to cover 5 things that you should or should not be doing to have a better experience so you can get more gold, get more gems, have a better roster, and overall just have a better experience in the game. So stay tuned. Those tips are coming up in just 1 second. All right, the first mistake, and probably one of the most impactful, we'll talk about this in 2 different areas, but the main idea here is just that you do not want to focus on too many characters. When you start out in this game, the only real mode we have right now in the very early stages is, again, this video is coming out around the time I'm filming it. Just check the date down below. So if this is way later, this might not be the case. But right now, the only mode in this game is Arena, and you play with 1 team. Now, you need a light side team and a dark side team to complete most of the content in the game to unlock all the different character farms and gear and all that kind of stuff. So you will need to create a light side and a dark side team, but do some research. And I've got information on the channel about that kind of stuff too, if you guys want to see all links and videos up below on some of my favorite teams. But make sure you do not focus, or make sure you do focus on few teams, unlike me, who have a ton of characters who are leveled up at, mid character level, like 37, 29, 27. We've got lots of gear 5s and gear 6s, 42, 45, 45 here, 35. It goes on and on and on. The amount of characters I have unlocked, the amount of characters I have geared up, the amount of characters I have put levels into doesn't really benefit me, and I've used resources instead of having just 10 characters that were all super highly focused, and they'd all be, probably in the gear 6, 7 range, maybe even higher, high star range, and I'd be very competitive in the arena. Instead, I am less competitive because I have focused on, or not focused on, few. I have really broadened my roster, which is not ideal for starting out. So do some research, do yourself before you dump all your gear into certain characters. Now, again, starting out, if you're just learning the game, leveling a character to level 10 or going to gear 2 or 3 is not going to be a big deal. But I'm talking once you start getting to the blue gear levels where you're gear 5 or 6, you have characters at gear 5 that are just not being used at all. Like I have 9 shadow characters at 5 or above. That's kind of a problem. So, figure out the game a little bit, do some research. There's a lot of good stuff out there, but do not be too broad with your roster. Okay, the next one I think is actually very important, and we won't see the implications of this until we get a little bit later down the road. So still hang in the video, hang with me here, because I think this could actually impact your late game experience once we have more multi-team PvP against different players. It's going to be a very good time. The tip here is do not overuse the auto button. Now the AI, whatever you want to call it in this game, is very good. The enemies that we fight and the decisions they make, it's very smart, and smarter than other games I've played in this genre where they just kind of do stupid things. It is a smart AI. However, if you only use or overuse the auto button, you will not really learn how your characters work and how to use them in the teams. And so when it comes time for you to fight against their players, and it really comes down to making strategic movements that only a player could make and not an AI, you might find yourself in trouble. So when you start out, go through your characters. You can hold down on their different skills and see what they do, and look through, what each of them do. If you click on the effects, it shows you what they do. Okay, blind, this inflicts this, and this does this. And so you go through. So again, you don't have to do all of them at one time, but just start learning what one character at a time does, so you can get used to them and see how they work together. Because there are times where the computer will do things that you don't want it to do that have a negative impact on what you're trying to do, because it's just kind of thinking one move at a time, and you might be thinking 3, 4, 5 moves down the line. So especially down the road when we're fighting other players with multiple teams and we're looking at counters and how things work, and it gets very complex, you don't want to be caught behind the ball going, I don't know how any of my teams work. Again, I got you covered on the channel. We got lots of videos that are going out all the time, every day, talking about different teams, talking about how they work. We do live streams all the time. So if you want to hop in and ask some questions about teams and how they operate, feel free to hop in and do so. But do yourself a favor, look at their skills, see how they work. You can just click on the different characters while you're in battle. You can look at them in your collection, see what the different things do. It's a little bit, again, you got to read through and see what the skills do. So it's a little tiny bit of work, but it will pay off instead of you being caught having kind of overused the auto button and not 100% understanding how the kits of your characters work. The next mistake that I have made, and I made it kind of intentionally, but I still kind of regret it because it ends up adding up, is using your gems for the hero chest. So if you go to the chest section, there's this chest here for 600 gems right here. Doesn't look like that much. And starting out, they're going to give you some gems for doing a lot of stuff. And it's like, you could definitely open a few of these. And you look here and you go, hey man, I could definitely unlock some characters that I might want to use. There's some good character. Every character in the game, I believe, other than marquee characters, are in these chests. So you might think, hey, it's pretty decent. The reality is the drop rates are horrible. You're almost never going to get 50 shards. You're going to go all the way to the bottom here. I think it goes to, is it 15 is the lowest? Let's double check. 15. A lot of your pulls are going to be 15. So you might get a character pull and it might not even be enough to unlock them. And 600 gems is a lot. Now, I'll do a little bonus tip here. Don't use your gems for the hero chest. Use your gems instead to refresh your campaign energy. You can do that 3 times for 50 gems a piece. You can refresh it a bunch of times, but just refresh it 3 times a day for 50 a piece. And then if you can, refresh your guild energy 3 times for 100. So that's 450 a day. Now, you might not keep up with that for a long time. Depends on your arena rankings and how much gems you have coming in. But even doing that for a couple of days will get you a lot further in the game, a lot more gear, all the stuff you need for your commanders to get powered up, instead of wasting it on the hero chest, which is fun. And yeah, you could like spend a bunch there and do that and get all the characters, but there's no multi PvP functions in the game yet. So you don't benefit from having 19 teams. Now, again, down the road, will that change? I don't know. But for now, don't waste your gems. For the next tip, we are back on the collection screen, and it has to do kind of with that focusing tip I gave you earlier. But I just want to emphasize another point here, so much so that I gave it its own point here. And that is, do not unnecessarily promote characters. So here you can see all these characters here have the promote button, and it looks pretty tempting, right? If I promote them, I've got enough character shards. They're going to get some more stat increase. It's going to be good. Some of the lower ones, 1, 2, even 3 stars, are not that expensive. Although I think 3 is, I believe, 19,000 gold. So it starts to jump up pretty quickly. The 2nd star, maybe you can do that, and that won't be too big of a deal. But first of all, you got to be focusing on, as few squads as possible. Focusing your light side and dark side team. Second of all, you don't want to over promote here, because the gold cost for promotion starts to get ridiculous. For example, if I go to my Pippin, he is at 3 stars and it costs 80,000 gold to promote him to the next level. Now, if you're starting out, you might have a lot of gold. That's not a big deal. You will absolutely, without a doubt, unless you are buying gold chests, which most people don't like doing a lot of, you will run out of gold. So if you spend gold on characters that you're not using, or maybe don't benefit as much from it, you're gonna hit that gold bottleneck a lot faster. So do not unnecessarily promote your commanders. Now, if you're wondering, who do I promote? Who gets the attention? Basically, how you want to focus on your characters is you want to gear them up and level them up first. The gear and the level, leveling up right here, and gearing up and putting gear on cost gold. That has pretty significant stat increase for the gold cost. Then you want to do your abilities, again, applicable ones that make big impacts on your team. So go through and do your abilities first. And lastly should be your star ranking. Now, down the road, if there's a bunch of other events in the game, we have a gold surplus, that might change a little bit. But for now, the stat increase per star is not ridiculous, and it's really, really expensive. So wait until you've got everything else done, and then you can take the star. For if it's very powerful characters like an Ironhide or someone who you're going to use for a long, long time, it's a little bit safer. But again, not a bad thing to double check before promoting. If you're not in the Discord, that's linked down below. So if you ever want to hop in, we got a section of the Discord for this game specifically, where you could post a screenshot of your character and say, hey, this is my guy right here. He's level 29. I've got this much. Here are his abilities. What should I do next? And myself and other people would be happy to help out and say, hey, what level are you first of all? Okay, you're this level. Let's get the level caught up. Okay, after that, these are the right abilities to focus on. So if you're wanting more details, if you're hearing these points and thinking, hey, I want some advice because you're saying to do things in this order, but you don't know, exactly what that means, there's definitely advice to be had. Again, live streams are a great place to hop in and say, hey, can you talk about Pippin for a little bit and which abilities are good? Again, we've got lots of content on the channel that talks about skill order and all that stuff. So this is not that video, just kind of a quick mistake overview. But make sure you're taking advantage of the resources on the channel and the Discord, so that as I'm saying these things, you can actually ask some questions and get some live answers and reassurance. So just wanted to point that out as an option for you guys. And lastly, the last mistake on the note of gold and the horrible, horrible gold crunch, a mistake I see a lot of players making is not properly farming gold. Now, what I mean by that, and I'm going to put a chart on the screen here. This is something I'll link down below as well if you want to reference it for future use. As you progress through the campaigns, the harder campaigns, the further chapters, specifically in the guild campaign, start giving more and more gold. So as you can see in the chart here, the gold per energy cost goes up very, very significantly in the guild campaign, especially once you get to chapter 3, 4, and even 5, it really skyrockets in comparison. So for your guild energy, don't just farm random things with your guild energy unless you are farming a character who is specifically being farmed for a legendary release. Right now, that might be elves for Elrond. If you're doing that, keep doing that. You know, I'm in chapter 3 right now, farming up. I farmed Elro here for elves. I'm getting another elf farmed up. As soon as I finish those farms to the point I need to, I am going to chapter 4. I'm going to 3-star this first level, and I will be just using all of my guild energy on this node. Not because of any, you know, it like gives me great things. None of these give a lot of things right now, but solely because it gives the most gold per energy. You also get a lot of ability mats. You also get character experience, which is another big bottleneck. You will hit this bottleneck as well. Well, you'll go to upgrade a character and you'll be out of these. So don't just randomly spend your guild energy or all your energy. Look through what you're doing. Check out that chart that I'll link down below. If you're hitting that gold crunch, you need to kind of optimize how you're farming that gold. Now, again, if you need gear or character shards for something specific, obviously get those where they're at. But if you're logging in, you're just trying to burn your energy because you don't want your energy capped out. If your energy sits at, for me, 106 at 106, I'm no longer regenerating energy. That's a bad thing. It's a bonus mistake for you. Don't let your energy max out. So you want to use your energy, but don't just hop in and waste it somewhere. Look, go to your furthest guild campaign you can. It doesn't have to be a further level. So again, really quickly going to illustrate here. 4-1, 1120 gold. 4-7, 1120 gold. The rewards are the exact same for all these, so you don't have to go through and waste gold trying to get missions done, especially in the guild campaign where there's not a whole lot going on. In the guild campaign on the chapter 3, there's Elro here. If you have him or you're not going for him, I mean, you can go for this either way. But there's no reason to go down here to 3-7 and try and beat this one 10 times to 3-star it and waste energy. Just farm the first one in the furthest chapter you can, and you will get more gold that way. That is going to do it for our list of 5 mistakes, plus some bonus ones sprinkled on that you should not make, especially in the early game. Again, in the grand scheme of things, if you're playing this game a year down the road, will these things matter too much? Very likely not. So don't stress out too much if you have made some of these mistakes. I myself have made probably about 4, maybe 5, probably about 4 of these in this list I have done myself. So it's not going to have a crazy impact. So don't watch this and get bummed out. But it can impact your experience right now. And I do think if you don't do these things or if you avoid them as much as possible, you will have a better time. So let me know down in the comments below, have you made any of these mistakes? Have you just avoided all of them and have just the perfect account set up? Or have you made 1 or 2 or maybe all 5 of them? Let me know. No judgment. I just want to hear where everyone's at. But comment down below and I'd love to have a conversation about that. But that's going to do it for me in this one. And as always, I'll see you guys in a future video.